Hello everybody and Jester and welcome back to Shangri-La Frontier, and sweeter words could not have been spoken. We finally get the second season of, honestly, probably one of the best shows based on a game that I've seen. Like, Log Horizon, kinda close, season 1 at least, but this show has a little bit of an edge even over Log Horizon, I would say. So I'm super excited to be here again. Where did we finish the previous season? It's actually a good question. The fight with Weathermon concluded. The previous season ended with Sanaraku meeting... who was that? I don't think I see this person on my list of characters, but yeah, Sanaraku meeting the archivist, right, or some sort of a nickname like that, who is a dude using a like a Maho Shoujo sweet little pastel girl avatar, and he asks Sanaraku if he would like to like uncover the truth of the world or something to that effect. Because Sanaraku and the rest of the team, basically, got way further in the Shangri-La lore than anybody else did, right? They were the first ones to vanquish a guardian. No, they were not called guardians. They were called someone else. The world bosses, right? And they got a nice bit of lore from Setsuna, right? Setsuna. So, I suppose, I think, maybe, I suspect that this season will be about uncovering that lore a little further, right? I can't remember if Sanaraku reported to Visage yet. He did, but Visage wasn't there. Yeah, I think that's how it went. And I think at the end they also went to gather some like items for the quest, right? For some, I don't know, power cell or whatever, to power the the like exosuit that Sanraku got access to with this like unlimited storage kind of thing. The cat musketeer joined them, whose name I forgot, and Bilach joined them, and meanwhile Kay and Toa Pencilgon are like doing their own thing. Pencilgon has to deal with like the guilds having fallen, right? And she also lost her items, I believe, so she needs to like build her character back up, right? There was something like that as well. And Sanraku went to fight some super strong enemies, got some very rare ore from them by exploiting the how the game works. And that's basically the last things I remember from the season. It's been a while, so hopefully we're gonna get a bit of a refresher in this episode 1. If not, I might like, you know, scroll through the last like 2 episodes of the previous season to just remind myself what happened exactly. But besides that, I'm basically going in blind into this season, and I mean, I am going in blind into this season because I've not read the source material still, because I knew season 2 is coming, so there was no point getting into the manga or light novel or whatever the source material is here. From, I don't know, technicalities, as far as I know, it's the same studio, the same people. Haven't looked too deep into that. From the trailer, you could tell that the quality is very much the same. The season is scheduled for 25 episodes, which is... hey, hooray. Very often I see an anime open with like a 24 episode, like a double core season, and then second season is like 12 episodes, and then third season is 12 episodes, right? It happened to Shield Hero, for example. So 25 plus 25, that's like, hell yeah. Super excited for that. Unknown amount of minutes each. Well, I guess I could fill that info on AniList because this episode is 23 minutes and 50 seconds long. Anything else for us housekeeping is concerned? I'm using the Rairos version, HEVC, multiple subtitle, yada yada yada. I usually take my anime from Subsplease, but they didn't have it in time for some godforsaken reason, so I got it from Nya from Rairos. So if you want to have the exact same copy that I do, that's the copy that you should get. And I think with that, we should just get to watching, right? No point stalling, I don't think. So, as always, you're gonna need your subs to follow along with me. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on in the show, and I'm gonna have to ask you for support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, YouTube down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, costs you nothing and helps a lot. And with that, we can start watching Shangri-La Frontier episode 1 season 2 in 3, 2, 1, go. As a side note, I'm super glad that it's actually like season 2 episode 1 and not something like Shangri-La Frontier episode 26. It's always just, I don't like when they do that. So it's good that it's like good and proper second season, right? Not a second core, not a split core. Shangri-La Frontier. Do we get an opening? We do. Would you look at that? Okay. I'm liking what I'm hearing. I think it's the same band that did season 1 opening, isn't it? Could be mistaken. Yeah, there's gonna be some focus on those like match technological artifacts. No, Nyanta is not his name. Nyanta is the cat from Log Horizon. I mean, honestly, it could be Nyanta for all I know. Anime and Japanese media are usually not very imaginative when it comes to the names of cat people. It's some variation of the word nyan. Nyanko, Nyanta, Nyanmaru, Nyansuke, stuff like that. Oh, new gear. Also, I noticed some CG. Okay, so we get a recap, as I suspected. Yep. You know what? I wonder if it wouldn't be a good idea, and I wonder why studios don't often do that. Like a single OVA kind of an episode, like episode 0, that's just a recap of the previous season. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Not like a full compilation movie, right? But like a compilation episode. Okay, so he did manage to report to Visage after all. But then Visage disappeared, the legendary craftsman, and so we're gonna make Bilach into legendary craftsman. Yep, that's the plan. Bilach. She's listed as Bilach on AniList, but AniList has never been great about character names, I've noticed. Oh, so it is 26 after all. Bilak. I mean, it clearly says Bilak here. That's a spider-looking thing. Okay, maybe not quite a spider. Too long to be a spider. Some sort of a mechanical centipede thing, maybe? Welcome back, Emul. Ruins of past glories, eh? Mm-hmm. Could be mechanical. So, you know, something that does move, but made by human hand. Yeah, it very much looks mechanical, doesn't it? Some sort of a giant robot thing. Mm-hmm. Professor, right. Not archivist. The discrepancy between the voice and the look. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, how were you even supposed to know how to trigger the whole entire Rabituza questline, right? It was basically random. Maybe there are some like mentions in the lore, right? If you go through all the books, then you see the name Rabituza and see the name Vorpal in a single book, and you can connect the dots or something like that. So yeah, knowing more about the lore would absolutely allow him to figure out, potentially, more scenarios like that. Giant Kiringa. Yeah. I don't think so. I think he actually went to Towa. I wonder if we're gonna be following the other members of the party. Like, not necessarily all of them traveling and doing things together, but like half an episode just about Pencil Gone. Yeah, of course, it's not stupid. Yeah, the Inventoria bracelet's still here. Golems, I mean, figures in an area that seems to be like littered with dead machines. Sure enough, some of those machines will not be dead, right? Divinity. Ooh, nice track. Looks like it has a flamethrower on the right arm. Emul enters battle mode. Yep, sure enough. Yeah, quite clunky, since, you know, it's a golem machine after all. Damn! I was about to ask whether his little rapier is gonna be even able to pierce that steel, but... yeah, it was able to pierce that steel and then some. Aramis is his name, of course. Athos Portos Aramis. No, everything's been vaporized. Yeah, we need materials. Exactly. Next time it's gonna be the face. We haven't really met any dragons, have we? Yeah. Okay, so there are different types then. Sure, understandable. Like, that's a CG Mad Bull. Tiny little golem thing? Tiny little golem thing. Huh. Oh, tiny little explosive golem thing. Very explosive golem thing. Okay, so they like golem souls, quote unquote, or whatever, take whatever there is in the area and like turn those things into golems. If it's a bit of rock, then a rock becomes a golem. If it's a golem body, then a golem body becomes a golem. And that was a commercial break. Yeah, sure enough, that's CG. Those explosions are much weaker, at least. So at least there's that. Yeah, gotta destroy the source. Exactly. Magic? Maybe? Or just a big jump? Yeah, you should have used that on the big one. Don't like use up your SP mana whatever on, you know, doing ultimates on the tiny little guys. Probably. Weak to magic and magic attacks, perhaps. So it tries to eliminate casters and like spell swords, maybe. Yeah. And they're not gonna catch up to you because they're fairly slow ultimately. Be like Smash. Oh, well. That's an agile little thing. Yeah. You can't exactly dodge those attacks in the air. Same attack again. Right, topple this column over. That's gonna work. I love Emul. What do you mean? Some sort of a combiner attack? Oh, the Dullahan sword. Right, reforged. Good to hear the music is still on point. Sure. Safe assumption. Be like smash. And a big explosion. Yeah, a big explosion. And a fiery rain to boot. Loot. Loot. Like a golem core or something. Blasting Earth Idol. I assume an explosive that you can use to, I don't know, blow something up. Yeah. Throw it and it explodes. A grenade, essentially. Yeah, maybe don't slap it. Yeah. Yeah, probably best to store it in the inventory. No risk of impact that way. More golems? Different ones this time. Some hedgehog-looking things that don't, like, fall into pieces, but just disappear. Of course. Yeah, I mean, kinda. Time for Aramis doll. Right. Can't exactly reach among the spikes with your tiny little daggers, can you? Right. Right, twin moons do connect into, like, single moon, don't they? And picking some just random sword scales probably not the best idea if you spec entirely into agility. Yeah? They seem to have been, the past civilization seems to have been advanced enough to have like an industrial forge or indeed a factory instead of like a blacksmith hut. Or underground, or in the sky. Does the map show you something? Underground? Underground, indeed. Just trustful. K? Oh. K and Toa both. Yes, exactly what he thought. I love how ominous they are. With friends like those, who needs enemies? Oh, that's a dapper hat. That's Kay's voice actor, isn't it? Maybe not. I'm not sure, actually. New characters. Some sort of a kitsune mask ninja girl, I'm gonna assume. The bird mask stays on. Plenty of new characters. The entire bottom row, essentially. Except the professor, who we've already met. Okay, minis are back. That's good. Halloween promotion? Maybe. Shuffla poster is still there. Is that Cyberpunk logo I see in the top left? Except red instead of yellow. You don't need a medium to be able to tell that. It's not like it was a secret, was it? Again, no need for a crystal ball. Yeah. What are those boats? Oh, that's dry ice, isn't it? Yeah, that's absolutely dry ice. Oh? Seems something right up Sanraku's alley. Speak of the devil, and doth he appears. Was, yes. Are we gonna see him play it? Please show him play it. Yeah. One for him, one for her. Oh. Send him an invite. Yeah. chase, sure, but not anything else, I'm afraid. Okay, I mean, that was a good opening episode, I gotta say. Let's watch it again. We're starting with Rei, right, and slow introduction to the world and where we are. Good opening, again. Maybe not quite as good as the first opening, I think. Or was it the second opening? Danger, Danger, in any case. Danger was great. I mean, both openings in the previous season were amazing. But maybe it's gonna grow on me. It wouldn't be the first opening that really just grew on me over time. I remember having some issues with the tonal discrepancy of the first Freerun opening, for example, but then it grew on me. So, right? That's what happens when you are kind of used to... Well, not in case of Freerun. I wasn't used to any other openings because that was the first one, but whatever. Doesn't matter. Is that B in Ronin Samurai kind of armor? And that's not Sanraku with B with Emul. Huh. Yeah, we don't get any sort of a close-up at them. There's going to be a lot of focus on those artifacts. Yeah, there's the doll, both dolls that Sanraku found. Professor, that is Rei's sister, isn't it? Looking for Lycagon, probably. That's Animalia's guild. Looking for Emul, because of course. B, Aramis. A couple of new characters. Very technologically looking. I wonder whether they are like high-level players or NPCs. I would kind of bet on the former, because far as I understand it, I mean, we know for sure that the world of Shangri-La Frontier has everything from fantasy to sci-fi, right? But at the same time, the like starter zones seem to be very fantasy, and as you venture forth, there's more and more of the sci-fi stuff, right? Like the dungeon where they were leveling up before the Weathermon fight, for example, right? That was some sort of a techno-magical sort of sci-fi ruin. Now Sanraku is visiting an area that's also very like techno-magical, and I would assume that the higher level the area is, the more technologically advanced it gets, right? So eventually in like a level 150 area or whatever, you can get your first gun, maybe, right? Or you can get, I don't know, technoware like that, right? Because maybe it's like hard to get it because it's a lost civilization, so you have to go through like a level 200 raid to get I don't know, printed boards or chips or wires or stuff like that, and then you can take them to a forge deep in level 250 dungeon, for example, where you can turn them into a gun or a night vision goggles or stuff like that, right? So that makes me believe that those people are in some high-level area, and they are, you know, appropriately high level as well. Alternatively, they could be NPCs, or it could be a vision of the past. I don't know. Could really honestly be either. Hard to tell just from a single view. That's the where they make Shafla. More statues, more fighting the Crystal Scorpions, it seems, or a callback to Season 1, or we're gonna need some drops from them, maybe. Yeah, fighting with the golems. And in the opening, no, they are still CG. Yeah, the big one at top of the pillar is drawn, and the others are CG, I think. Mecha battles. I suppose it's a completely different game. It's not like a Shangri-La area. Yeah, probably a completely different game. Oh, and that's the... Yeah, so she's a player, because we see her inside of the mecha, and the blue one is, if I were a betting man, I would say Sanaraku. I wonder if the girl with the scar is... So that scene with the both of them in this like techno-magical area might not be... Where is it? Whatever, you know what I'm talking about. It might not be Shangri-La after all. It might be a completely different game that Sanraku plays, right? We gotta remember that he doesn't play just Shangri-La, he plays many other games. I wonder, we have... Sanraku played that like fighting game with that newcomer, like newbie, kinda sorta player. What was their name? Sentai Daishkaku, Spice and Wolf, Yu, Majoto Yaju, Metallic Rouge, Shai, Sasaki Topi-chan, Saihaten Paladin, Shield Hero, Ancient Magus Bride, there is Shangri-La Frontier. Do I have her name noted somewhere? Dragonfly, yeah, Dragonfly. I wonder if the scarred girl is Dragonfly. Just, you know, just a hunch. I base it on absolutely nothing. Shafla Season 2. Shangri-La Frontier S2. Scarred girl is Dragonfly, because who else would be playing games together with Sanaraku, right? We have seen all of his friends basically that he plays on the daily with. We've seen Kei, we've seen Towa, we've seen arguably Rin. We have never seen Dragonfly yet, so maybe, I don't know. Yeah, some Gundam mecha battles. That is one of the golems that Sanraku killed. That's some like whatchamacallit, Hollow Knight looking enemy. This is a CG yellow crystal scorpion thing. I assume it's the boss of the Crystal Scorpion area, right? All of the scorpions are blue because they need to camouflage themselves because they're relatively weak for the level of the area, right? Meanwhile, this is like the boss of the area, probably. Yeah, this is the scarred girl again. This is the one we've seen running around with Emul in her hair. And this is not B in Ronin armor. That's another... that's a completely different rabbit. Could she be like Sanraku's sister? We don't know much about his family, do we? It's certainly someone who had access to Rabituza, though. Second person who found Rabituza. Huh. Sanraku's sister plays Shafla and found Rabituza. And it kind of makes sense, right? She's like a shinobi kind of archetype, so she would also be focused on speed and agility. So chances are she would also trigger the requirement to meeting second Emul. Triggering the Rabituza quest makes Emul appear and lead you to Rabituza. Is it always Emul? In that she like gets a ping in her brain telling her, oh, new challenger found Rabituza quest, and she just disappears off Sanraku's back and runs there to lead someone else? Or can it be any other random bunny this like samurai dude, for example, maybe he led her to Rabituza. Or second Emul. That's why she has Emul in her hair running with her. And no Sanraku inside. I don't think the game would have been coded that poorly to make a second copy of the same NPC appear. I really don't think so. It's not QA Isekai where the game is completely... Sanraku would enjoy playing that game so much. Regardless, second Emul, just in case. QA Isekai, really, really cool anime as well, trapped in an MMO, but the MMO is written like complete fucking garbage. You can phase through walls and NPCs are T-posing and shit like that. Highly recommend it, really. Okay, so what do we have next? Another bit of CG, some sort of a mechanical trash pile, probably area boss of this like golem area. Yeah, she has the Setsuna's flower in her hair. Nice detail. Fighting golems, I see. New bit of gear. That is very reminiscent of the Crystal Scorpions, isn't it? Probably gear made of Crystal Scorpions. And looking very like Kamen Rider-ish, isn't it? So we are entering this like techno-magical area of gear, right? What I said about the progression, as you progress through the zones, progress through the levels, you get more and more and more technological drops, technological items, and that could be it. That could be it. I mean, do I even note it down? We have it clearly shown, but I'm just gonna say Sanraku gets Techno Crystal Scorpion gear. I actually really like the fact that he gets new gear. I really do. Very often in anime, not just anime, it's also true for manga and even games, honestly. There's very little visual progression, right? Like characters don't get new gear, they don't get new armor, they don't get new weapons, they just, you know, the way they were in episode 1, they are the exact same way in episode 250. Maybe they get like a pendant or a different sword during all that time, right? So I'm really glad that Sanraku doesn't like always just wear the bird mask, but has different bits of gear as well. Like this thing, for example, right? Yeah, gotta make Bilak into an ancient craftsman. This really looks like a skeleton of a big-ass robot, doesn't it? Ruins of past glories. Seek out Bahamut. This very much does look like a ribcage of something that would very safely could be called Bahamut, doesn't it? Exploring truth of the world, right? Scenario flags in Shangri-La Frontier are really specific and hard to unravel. Indeed, they are. A scenario flag for one of the Self World 7 Colossi, Lekagon the Night Slayer. Right, we don't really know much about those flags, about those colossi, right? So having someone who might be able to figure this stuff out, yeah, probably a good idea. If you want to hear about Weathermon, yeah, probably talk to her, because she's gonna tell you both about Weathermon, she's gonna tell you about Setsuna, right? She was clearly very involved in that storyline. So, probably best idea to talk to her. Sanraku would have to talk about Rabituza and the connection of Weathermon to Visage, and he'd rather not reveal the existence of Rabituza. Also, I just noticed that she would not be able to stream on Twitch with this avatar if she was a VTuber, because Twitch recently banned exposed hips on VTuber models for some godforsaken reason. I don't know. Don't ask me. Messing with the the helmet he wore. Did it come from one of those exosuits? Maybe it wasn't crafted. Maybe it came from one of those, right? Like you need one fusion cell or whatever the fuck it is to power like one element of the gear, and so he chose helmet because he can't wear the armor anyway, right? But you can like use one to power the gloves and one to power the boots, right? Maybe. Yeah, probably knew you were hiding something, absolutely. Never-ending stream of golems. Golems from the divinity. Divinity, I assume here being the, like, past civilization? Probably. Yeah, we get a nice showcase of the animation and art style that this anime is so known for and so loved for. Those, like, flickers of light in the gun. I really, the only thing that was missing is the like iconic shot up Sanraku's leg when he does this pose. That happened so many times in season 1, and I really grew to like this shot. That's a big blast. Interesting though that if you vaporize an enemy and completely obliterate them, you don't get any drops. Makes sense, but at the same time kind of odd that the drops from monsters would be destructible. Dragon killer attack, yeah. He's kind of cracked, isn't he? And here we see first bits of CG. Curiously, the shadow is not like CG, it's drawn actually on different frames to boot, which I guess adds to this like, you know, uneven rolling that it does. It's drawn here because it's attached to him, so a CG item being attached to a 2D character would stand out. That's how very often you can tell something is CG, because it stands out because it interacts with 2D characters. So they didn't make it CG in this shot. Good. That's how you should do it. If do it at all. Yeah, big boom. And there's more of them, and they are being spawned by a big boss. Yeah, you can very easily tell that those things are CG because of the very subtle differences in shadows. I probably talked about it many times. I'm gonna say it again. One of the easiest ways to tell that something is CG is to look at the shadows. You see like tiny little specks of shadows on something, and then it shifts by like 1 degree and it disappears or morphs into something else. Chances are it's probably CG, because this is the shape of the mesh, and this is how the shadow is cast, right? Physically accurate. If it was drawn by someone, they would not bother drawing this shadow like here, right? The shadow on this in this place, like fluidly morphing from one shape to another, right? They would just draw it in one state, then maybe in another state, but not like animate the shadow frame by frame. That's why it's very easy to tell. But at the same time, I mean, decent CG job, I gotta say. The legs could almost fool me, if not for the bit of shine here on this leg. That's another thing that wouldn't be here if it was animated, if it was hand-drawn. Animated on tooth at least, so hey, that's good. Tooth, yeah. Kind of a shame that already in episode 1 we are, you know, shown CG. I'd rather not. I'd rather they show us what they can do, and they can do wonders with just 2D. I mean, the entire Weathermon fight, I don't think there was an ounce of CG during that fight, and it was glorious. So, yeah, kind of a shame that's already in episode 1, but at the same time, there's many of those tiny little things. So, sure. And the big boss is not CG, so alright, whatever. I'm not gonna be focusing on that. Magic Edge, yeah. So it seems like Emul and Aramis both are strong. Strongest in the team, perhaps. if not equally as strong. That's why the boss focuses on them. And big attack, bring the pillar down. Test out that little number being the executioner sword or whatever it's called. Decapitator, yeah. Newborn Decapitator. And just like that, fairly easy kill, ultimately. Yeah, that was a cool scene with all those things like falling apart. And this bit. Yeah, material destroy. Big explosion, thankfully not quite as big as to reach them. And blasting earth idol, small-scale replica, sometimes produced from a naturally spawning golem. Produced by cannonball golems, it unleashes a minor explosion in response to a strong impact. And of course, first thing that Emul does is just slap it. Don't give her access to nitroglycerin. She just, you know, shake it before drinking. That's not a good movement. I'm gonna do this instead. With a nasty parting gift. It's gonna be useful. It's absolutely gonna be useful. I mean, we see both of those idols in the opening, so duh. Both idols dropped by golems are useful. Maybe they need to get into some locked area in the dungeon and they can just blow up the door. Maybe they need drops from a specific monster and the other idol summons only that monster. Maybe that monster only appears when summoned by that idol, doesn't appear naturally, right? Maybe that's another hidden scenario. Idols make some hidden scenario possible. Safe assumption, I'd say. Yeah, another golem promptly defeated, and another idol. Draws attention strongly from certain monsters. The more the sword-denying idol rejects them, the stronger their interest becomes. Yeah, very much like B and Aramis, isn't it? Longsword skills, not so much, right? And you probably wouldn't be able to respec now, right? First of all, you are kinda locked into not being able to wear armor because of the not Weathermon, Lycagon curse, right? So, you know, can't really wear plate now and use a longsword. Second of all, can't even respect. Third of all, Sanraku is already used to the combat style with dual daggers, right? Like his body, his mind, whatever is used to this. So switching the combat style completely, probably not the best idea. But picking up, like, I don't know, maybe an amulet that gives you +5 to longsword skill or longsword mastery or something like that, and just keep it in your equipment, right? You need to use the longsword, you put the amulet on, and you get at least some sort of a minor boost that makes up a little bit for the fact that you're a spec in a completely different skill tree. We're looking for a factory, of course. And of course, it's gonna be underground. This is amazing. It's so incredibly ominous. Like you could if this was like season 1, right? If you were unfamiliar with the entirety of season 1, this would be a very ominous moment, wouldn't it, right? A couple of mysterious strangers in like veiled in shadows appearing. You know, he thought he could get away, right? Time to engage in some PKing, right? Yeah, could use some PKing. And the music slowly rising like from a horror or a Hitchcock movie or something. And the throaty voice, Ine. And the ominous lick. Again, with friends like those, who needs enemies? It's gonna be great. I missed them. I really missed their chemistry, missed their banter. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad this show is back. I'm glad I'm back to watch this show, honestly. We see this scarred girl again. She plays VR MMOs because she is scarred in real life, and that's how she interacts with people, because she is self-conscious of her scars. Just a random theory. Scar girl is scarred IRL, self-conscious. That's why she plays VR MMOs. First of all, because she doesn't have to show herself to real people. Second of all, because when you make a character in an MMO, giving them a scar is completely normal, so nobody pays attention to that, right? I think, maybe, I don't know, can't be sure. The bird mask stays on. It's a ballroom. He's about to ask Ray for a dance, and the bird mask stays on. Hobby Otome games, of course. Complete with dry eyes and everything. Slow day at work, isn't it? And yeah, I mean, tell me the logos here in the corner at the tip of my little finger are not Cyberpunk logo, but red. And here, this one says Bulk Souls, I think. Yeah, Bulk Souls, not quite Dark Souls, right? Legally distinct. The gray scale, I can't tell what it is, but something for PC4, sorry, not PS4. If PCs are so good, why there's no PC4 yet? Anything else that I would recognize here? Trackmania poster, just straight up says Trackmania. And Photostian Rewit, no idea what's that supposed to be. And some other undecipherable covers. Kamaitachi. The fuck is that? Kamaitachi. Japanese yokai. There we go. Appear riding on dusty devils and cut people using their sickle-like front claws, delivering sharp, painless wounds. Kinda random, but sure. I wanna take a look at the cover here. That's like Dragon Quest or something, isn't it? Like a fucked up Dragon Quest. Metia Moroio Fantasy. Yeah, perfect game for him. I really want to see him play it. I really do. There we go. That was Shangri-La Frontier, second season, episode 1, and the Shangri-La mini season 2, episode 1 as well, I guess. All right. I want to go real quick. Where is it? There it is. Just really quick, because from what I know, nothing changed here, right? It's still Studio C2C, right? They made Shangri-La Frontier, of course. So we know that, nothing changed there. Kodansha still produces it. I don't think anything changed here either. Yeah, Vistoria, the QA Isekai that I mentioned. And Shangri-La Frontier, nothing changed there. Not really any new tags. Hikikomori, that's kinda new, unless like Kei could Probably not. Something tells me the Scar Girl might be Hikikomori here. Yeah. Characters. I wanna check out the new ones who are gonna be appearing. Okay, so her name is Akane Akitsu, and her rabbit is Sea Crew. Sea Crew, like C3PO. No, doesn't work. Yeah, Akane Akitsu is gonna be voiced by Yuka Terasaki, who also voiced anybody I know here. Someone in Shaman King. Someone in Pokemon. I'm not really... Akari from Yagata Kimi ni Naru. Nobody else that I would be particularly familiar with, I'm afraid. At least not in, like... Yeah, not really familiar with her roles, I'm afraid. And Natsuki Hanae, who's gonna be and voicing Kitty the Owl. How fitting, isn't it? Voicing two rabbits. Also the voice of Tanjiro, the voice of Takakura Ken, Okarun, I'm sorry, in Dandadan, of course. 9S, Bochan from Shinigami Bochan. Plenty other roles. That's gonna be interesting. Milo in Sabiku Ibisco. Yeah, those are the only new characters? I think so. I don't think anybody else changed. If I'm mistaken there, then let me know. I won't see the opening and the ending. There it is. Lisa theme song performance. Otoha theme song performance ED. Lisa opening for Shangri-La Frontier Season 2. Season 1 as well. No, I don't think so. But ED for SAO 2. Fate opening for Nisekoi. Boku no Hero Academia. Gundam, Kimetsu no Yaiba opening as well. Okay, so a different opening performance. And Otoha doing the ED here. And also a different person. Who did the ED for season 1, it seems. Cool. I wonder if I don't think the CG direction changed, but I'm just gonna check it just in case. Teruki Kondo, first time being a CG director. And Hiroyuki Kimura, 3D CG on opening and ending in season 1, and then promoted to CG director in season 2. Interesting, maybe that's why CG feels maybe not different, but like used a little less sparingly. I don't know. I mean, it's only been episode 1. Can't really tell much from just that single season, can I? Music? I don't think anything changed in terms of who does the music here. But just in case. Ryuichi Takada, yeah, also music for season 1, music for Saiheto no Paladin, both seasons, which was good music. Music for Idolmaster even, yeah. Then we have Kuniyuki Takahashi, sorry. Also music for season 1, as I thought. Liar Liar, Yuki Yuna, and Haore, and Keiichi Hirokawa also did music for season 1. Beastars, and Working, and some other shows as well. Did the director change? I don't think so. Toshiyuki Kuboka, no. The director did not change, so we can expect the same exact goodness that we did, although that also depends on the script. Is script listed? I don't see script listed. That's a shame. Okay, whatever. Doesn't matter all that much ultimately. does it. If it's good, it's good. If it's not gonna be bad. It's not gonna be not good. It's gonna be good. I have full trust in that. So. That was a good episode. It didn't waste too much time getting us back into the swing of things, right? Instead, it just did get us back into the swing of things, right? It got us straight into some great combat. It got us straight into some great characters. Admittedly, I could use less Aramis, and I really hope that we lose his companionship sooner or later, because too much of him would really be grating to me. He's generally the kind of a character that I don't particularly like. I mean, in moderation, sure, but I just don't find this kind of a humor like terribly appealing. So the less of that, the better, if you ask me. Traveling with Emul, traveling with the with Pencil Gun, with K, maybe with B, right? But besides that, yeah, I think it works better when like everybody can take part in the chemistry and the banter between people, instead of just having Aramis, who just has any sort of a chemistry with B, and it's the cringy kind of chemistry, and he doesn't really like mesh with any other character in the group, right? You know what I'm saying? Maybe. So yeah, I hope he goes away sooner or later. Anything else about this episode in particular? Yeah, I mean, it worked as that sort of a vertical slice of what this show has to offer. It wasn't like too like opening-y, like first episode-y, right? Like you sometimes have a first episode that really like feels like the first episode, right? Like characters talking about the summary of what happened, talking about what their goals are, and just kind of slowly getting you into the swing of things. This is an episode that would really not be out of place if there was no gap between season 1 and season 2. If Shangri-La Frontier just was listed for 50 seasons, this would work, right? Just take away the part with the recap at the very beginning, and you would really not be any wiser, right? It would just be, new opening, and we just continue our journey, which is cool. I like it, actually. We're not wasting much time on reminding the viewer what happened, and whatever reminder there exists is also very natural, right? At least it feels like that to me. Bit of a shame that we were already greeted by CG. I might be, I don't know, too too harsh on CG, maybe, I don't know. I'm just simply not a huge fan of it. When a show is made 100% CG, it works, right? Doro Doro was a good watch. Oyuki Minokaina was a good watch. If I were to watch, or rather, from what I hear, the girl band Cry, I think, was the newest all CG anime. From what I've seen from GIFs and snippets, it also looked really fucking good. What I'm not a huge fan of is that meshing of CG with 2D, because it always looks off. Okay, not always. They managed to make it work in Mecha Ude. And it's a huge fucking surprise to me that in Mecha Ude, CG works so well that I was genuinely unable to tell whether it's CG or not. So it can be done well. That's living proof that it can be done well, and it can mesh well with 2D characters and 2D environments. But yeah, regardless. Interesting that we learn about the existence of brand new characters fairly early on, right? Like straight from the opening. I don't know how early will they appear, right? The Scar Girl, mostly, Akane Akitsu, right? Maybe she's gonna appear in the first core, because if she didn't, then they would have probably showed her in the second opening. But yeah, regardless, I really overuse the word regardless, don't I? It's gonna be interesting having another member to the party, potentially. Maybe, I don't know how much are they gonna be a party? How much are they just gonna be there coincidentally, maybe meeting for a single reason? I can see in the poster for this season, apparently, which is like maybe slight spoilers. I see Sanraku, Rei, and Akane fighting Weathermon. So maybe she also is on the Rabituza quest. That would actually be very interesting. That would be super interesting, having someone that Sanraku can actually talk about Rabituza with. It could introduce some really nice dynamics between the characters as well, right? Because suddenly he's gonna have someone who he won't have to hide things from, like he kinda sorta has to hide things from Pencilgon and Kay, right? Huh. Interesting. Curious. I'm really curious where it goes. I'm really especially curious about the introduction of those like techno-magical things, right? We are clearly going to higher level areas. There's clearly more and more technology around. Sanraku is gonna get some, techno-magical gloves and helmet and whatnot. That's gonna be cool. Wouldn't surprise me if by, I don't know, season 3, he was using just laser rifles and exosuits. That would actually be kind of cool. Not gonna lie. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it. Good opening to a new season. Good episode in general on its own right. I'm certainly gonna be waiting for more and watching more, and I hope you will too. You will be here together with me watching the show, because it's great, because it's worth watching. It's gonna be a bit of a shorter episode, I guess, shorter video, only barely over an hour, but what can you do? There wasn't all that much to talk about. Big part of it was just the intro and recap and stuff like that. So yeah, good show. I had fun. Hope you did too. But right now, that's gonna be it from me for today. But maybe you guys have something more to add on the topic of this episode, of my reaction, my theories, stuff like that. No spoilers, please, I beg of you. Spoilers can go to my Discord if you'd like. Everything else goes into the comments. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe to be notified of future videos, not only Shangri-La Frontier, but also Mecha Ude, also Mahonare, also Dan, plenty others coming in the future. Click the bell to be notified when I go live, because I do go live sometimes. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, YouTube, down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, it costs absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And now with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's my wonderful Patreons: QB, Zerene, Yukiala, Dr. Watt, Akomaser, Marsh, Fassel, and Hans Peter. And you can join them if you want without having to fight exploding golems.